Okay. So you are on now.
Hold it right there. The one thing too is I watch guys set up, okay, and we can go back. Let's go back to the initial setup right there. Okay, notice right there. How constricted are you right there, Frank? What do you think? Is that you're tight, right? That's a position right there, just from your head to your glove, and you can even see your left wrist. Where you're gripping the baseball, you're almost gripping that thing overhand, right? Not just nice and relaxed and above and behind it. You're almost over gripping it. Okay. So what I would encourage you to do is we talk about, and I didn't get into it today, but just taking a big deep breath, and we have what's called the pre-pitch routine, and that's going to help you relax a little bit more. You just take a big deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Relax. Your hands are going to actually drop a little bit, and your grip is going to relax. Okay, and you're not going to be so constricted. Okay. Everything's good. Okay. Stop. Okay. Now we talked about driving. Remember that front hip. Okay. And one thing we didn't really get into, and Coach Stone and I talked about it a little bit. As we get to our tall point, okay, and you can kind of see with Mark Burley on the right there, okay, about the same position. Okay. Notice how he's really getting his hips involved, right? He's really leading with his right hip, okay, and you can kind of see there's a lot more momentum being generated down that hill, okay, and you know, obviously he's been doing this a lot longer, and this is a good learning experience for you, but I'd really like to see you generate power with those hips, and one way to do that, okay, is we'd like to see you, okay, when you get to that tall point, is almost take that knee inside that ankle, okay, because you'll see as I take that knee inside my ankle, naturally my hip, okay, or my butt, okay, is going to point towards that target, and I'm still staying back, okay, but I'm generating a lot more torque, a lot more momentum, a lot more power, all right, with my lower half. Okay, stop. Okay, once again, that short stride we talked about, okay, and that's a good example, is if you see, okay, that's probably, I would say maybe 50%, 60% of your height, okay? We could push it. We could be 80%, 90%. Look at the difference right there, Mark Burley. Okay, look at when both your guys' stride foot lands, all right, where's his foot in relation to yours? Farther. Well, not just that, but his back foot. Okay, look at where his back heel is. Okay, it's up in the air, right? He's starting already to get those hips going. Okay, your back foot, all right, if you can see, is still in contact, flat-footed with the ground. So as that front foot starts coming forward, I'd like to see you start to turn those hips a little bit. Once you land on the ball of your foot, okay, and it's no different than hitting, it's heel up, heel down. Okay, I'm sure you hear that a lot of times, heel up. When that front heel's up, okay, and all of a sudden it goes down, the back heel comes up, right? It's no different than pitching. You can kind of rewind it a little bit, Coach Stone. And you'll see with Mark Burley, he lands on the ball of his foot, okay? Okay, he lands on the ball of his foot, boom, and all of a sudden his back heel comes up, okay? And that's allowing him to utilize his lower half a little bit better, okay? And that's how he generates power. And that's why he probably has, okay, a consistent velocity, because he uses his lower half better than most, okay? And you can learn from it. Right here, you do a good job landing on the ball of your foot, okay, but once that front heel comes down, look at your back heel never comes up, it just pushes up, okay, until your arm starts to come forward, okay?
Well, there's a lot more left in there.
And there's a lot more there, and that's why I really emphasize lengthening your stride, because that's going to help naturally you get that back heel off the ground as well with the longer stride, okay? And then there again, we talked about the extension, right? Not utilizing your body size to your advantage, right? The more extension you have, okay, the quicker it's going to get on there, and you're almost finishing upright. You see how Mark Burley right there, how far out over his front knee he is, where his head is in relation to his knee as well. He's almost finishing in a crunched position, okay, because he's getting extended here, right? Well, you're almost releasing the baseball somewhere in this position where your head is really far from your front knee, okay? And that's just lack of experience, and this is just another way for you to utilize it. You can see the angle of that line right there. Big difference, and pretty well from the same angle camera view, right? The angle is much more of a slant, okay, as where yours is much more upright, okay? So really focus on getting down that hill. Now the key to it is, all right, that you have to do it in a manner that you're under control, right? That you're not just going haywire, you know, and that's the one thing where kids, when you try and push the envelope and say, hey, rush down the mound, get out, get further, all of a sudden they just lose all control, and then you finish up, like we talked about one of the younger kids earlier, how he rushes off the mound, you know, and he had a hard time staying on top of it. That's what you'll see. That'll be the error that'll happen initially because you're constantly pushing, go faster, go farther,
What
go
about falling forward?
Well,
I mean, you got that pushing from that back hip and falling forward and getting a longer stride.
Yeah, I don't think falling is the word you want to use because I think falling is a term that is probably synonymous with lack of control. I think you want to drive.
I always think the upper body going first when I think of the guy falling from his head.
I agree.
instead of the
I
lower
think
body.
drive is the word I would use. You want to drive forward. You want to drive that lower half. I think that's probably the better term to use. Because when I think of fall, there's, you know, in the pitching world, there's this tall to fall mentality where guys, you want to think of everybody being tall, in their tall point, tall, and then they just kind of fall. But for me, it's such a lack of body control when you're just falling, that all your weight's shifting, and all of a sudden you can't stay back, and you're not really utilizing your arm strength.
Stay back and drive.
Yep, that would be the term I would use.
Anything else in the follow through?
No, I think that's good. You know, one thing we'll stop right there is just really try and focus on staying square. Like right there, stop. Okay, Frank. You know, there's a reason why Mark Burley is one of the best fielding pitchers in Major League Baseball, because he puts himself in position to field the baseball. Because you see right there how you're kind of crossing your legs, kind of crossing your body. You know, Greg Maddux, if you watch, you guys would stop. Okay, you can see Mark Burley. He's in a square athletic position, ready to field his position. It might not be as important right now at your age. Okay, but when you start playing at a higher level, okay, guys are going to start bunting more. Guys are going to start. You're going to have to start fielding your position, covering first base. You're going to have to start doing a lot more things that maybe you don't know about quite yet. But if you can start putting yourself in a fielding position after you release the baseball now, okay, it's really going to pay off at the end. So really have that body control to finish square and not allow yourself to finish with your left leg over your right. Okay.